Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Casey.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Cyndi.
And I'm Josh. And today we are going to be going over a poem from a Nobel Prize winning poet in Seamus Heaney. The poem is called Oysters. This is the first time we've ever gone over a Seamus Heaney poem in a general discussion. I discussed one of his poems in an individual video called Churning Day. This particular poem looks at another aspect, more so pertaining to marine biology and figures within mythology. It pertains to those different things and looks at the various aspects of imagery that Heaney is known most for and is most successful at. The discussion starter that I have for this is somewhat basic. Do you take this for its face value, like a lot of his other poetry can be taken for, or do you think that there is another underlying meaning to it?
Ooh, base pick me.
Charles?
Hi. I think both. And I know sometimes I'll come out with that really big yes and no, or both, but hear me out. Yes, I think it could be taken for face value and to be enjoyed, but I mean, it's supposed to be enjoyed anyway, but yes, I think it can be taken at face value. But I'm sure, I am most positive there is an underlying message, because we're talking about the ocean, oysters, and bringing in the skies, or the universe. Either this guy's on something, unless he's eating oysters that haven't been cooked properly, or whatnot. Just saying, this is very, to me, I think it meets both of those criteria.
I would say that there is some sense of underlying message in how we have aspects, because this poem is present day, but it refers to things within the past. Mm-hmm. Like I would with most of Heaney's poetry, it almost feels like the underlying message, there really isn't that much to it. I think it's just a matter of you sit back and enjoy, and it really doesn't matter if Heaney may have been thinking a certain way as he was writing this. What matters is that imagery that he puts together is quite beautiful.
Exactly, and I think the mind is going to, I mean, I'm a drummer, so music is my thing, but as an artist, because musicians are artists, my mind does go toward the sea, the skies, and all that. And when you look at the horizon, at the harbor or the ocean, you're not going to stop and think, what was the author thinking? You're just going to really take it in and say, isn't that beautiful? Isn't this wonderful? There's a boat. Yay, a boat! Stuff like that, The simple things. Finding joy in the small things in life. Flowers, deer chewing on your lawn, even though there's a sign that says, please do not chew on my lawn, you beautiful deer. But whatever, There's a deer outside, by the way. Kind of nice.
The deer are often outside.
Just saying, enjoy the small things. Stop what the old saying, stop and smell the roses.
It's the imagery is lovely with the enjoying life, enjoying nature, enjoying to eat this and.
I love eating.
But at the same time, I did see something a little deeper, and that when he referred to the book as if they were being violated, which is like so. I had the sense that on some level, at least, he doesn't like the way we treat nature, perhaps. Or when we're kind of gluttonous and we want to eat and to enjoy, but we just thousands shoved and thrown away with complete disregard. It's indicative of our lives possibly being out of balance.
That's a good point. How we interfere with their beauty, how we interfere with their natural beauty just for who they are.
Yeah, I mean, you see some people they go out and they just eat oyster after oyster after. It's an oyster bar or a clam bar, and I'm not morally objected to it, but maybe at least say to yourself, whoa, I just ate 50 oysters, maybe I should slow down, or something like that.
It would be like, here's a beautiful oyster, prong, 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 let's explore, let's see what's inside.
Yeah.
Wonder how beautiful it's in there. As far as consumption is concerned, we have the tendency to
consume.
Yeah, we'll interfere with that. But then again, only some people are able to take that step to confront that and commit to vegetarianism or veganism.
Unfortunately, like this poem, like the hummingbird poem, I read this poem and had no clue what I was reading.
The nightingale?
The nightingale. I read it like a few times and I saw the imagery, but I didn't understand what he was saying, so I was like, well, let me look up commentary. And as she was saying, apparently, well, someone else does a commentary for it, so I'm assuming. But he's saying the poet, for whatever reason, was out and about by the seas, and he was reminded of his childhood, of watching his parents and his parents' friends eat these oysters and out laughing and having fun. And in that moment of remembering his past, he comes to the conclusion that he believes it was inhumane, first of all, to do this, and arrogant, because, as you know, at some point in time in our history, only the wealthy could afford to eat these things. So it was as if he was condemning the wealthy for eating oysters. But that was the commentary that I've read, and he went line by line what each line means. I mean, even in the very beginning, when he talks about what he sees, he says, I think he says, the oasis of my mouth or something to that nature. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I think I know what an oasis is. And then I looked up oasis, and I'm like, I still don't understand what he's saying. He was saying the oysters called his mouth to water. Because, you know, when you're about to eat something you want to eat, your mouth waters.
Exactly.
So I did appreciate his choice of words to describe what he was saying. But I had no clue what he was saying until
he does a great... You mean, my tongue was a filling estuary? My palate hung with starlight?
No, he said something about an oasis. He said I didn't see anything myself until I read the commentary of what he was saying. I just, from first reading it,
Yeah, so I gotta read it again. Yeah.
But from the commentary, they're saying he is first reminiscing about his past of his parents, and I guess his parents' friends, and seeing them go out, because he would be on the boat with them, blah, 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 blah. And in that moment of remembering it, he starts to wonder, was this the right thing to do?
Like I said earlier, there are certain people who have no regard for. I'm not saying this to be. I'm not condemning. Please don't think it that way. But there are some people who just don't give a word. I'm not going to use on camera. They just don't care. It's mine. Give it to me. Give it to me.
But that's been the basic structure of humanity.
Of course.
What
do I get out of it?
Where they've poked and pronged at nature for their own needs and desires.
Yes. Needs, probably understandable, but, you know, there's a difference between needs and wants. You know, a person needs to eat. A person doesn't need to go and smoke cigarettes.
I think that you get that message from him, and it's just the way that the landscape that he puts together is just beautiful. I mean, the way that he describes the ocean is philandering sigh of ocean. The fact that he's giving nature that sense of emotion is very reflective of Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold.
Yeah, I can just picture it in my mind.
One of the most beautiful poems that there is, in a cautionary way, and thought-provoking way. Do you have any final thoughts?
Again, like I said, it can be taken at face value, and again, there is a deeper meaning.
If you're interested in reading this and Seamus Heaney's other poetry, here is Open Ground, which collects everything that he wrote up until 1996, because he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1995. This is what came out as a response for people that wanted to become even more immersed in what he'd written.
I see that. Thank you.
Seamus Heaney is also known for his translation of Beowulf into more modern English. But thank you for tuning into this discussion, and be sure to join us next time for another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading. Hi there, this is Josh, and on the next episode of Literary Gladiators, Casey, Charlie, and I will be discussing The Imbecile by Luigi Pirandello. If you like what you see on this channel, please support us on our Patreon, for the money that we make will allow us to provide you, the viewer, with even more great content. Thank you, and for now, keep reading.